Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram,
Don't give it. It's here. But we don't need it here. We just have to click on this. Have something?
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
His mic doesn't seem to be working properly. Can you knock it? Just knock on it. This one. Now it's good. I'll make it louder.
Tomorrow, we are observing Viral Papa's 62nd Mahasamadhi Day. As usual, there won't be any special program excepting to intensely remember not only his inspiring life, but also his words of wisdom that will help us in our sadhana. So we should intensely remember. When we say tomorrow is our beautiful Mahasamadhi day, it must have some difference in our day. Otherwise, why should we mention that word? Not for the sake of some formality or as a routine affair. As a sadhaka, as a spiritual children, we must have some impact. So all of us have to do that. Some intense thinking, manana. Otherwise, it is like any other ordinary day. So the purpose of remembering the 7 days in a year is only to give some new dimension, no? Some push. Kindly think over. Everyone should think over. Otherwise, there is no use in telling tomorrow is Sanyas Day, Mahasamadhi Day, Jayanti Day. Just an information, that's all. But as sadhakas, something more than that. What is that each one has to decide. So we are prompted now to read a few lines of his wisdom. How God came into my life. These are his words. We'll first read. The human being is gifted with reason, which can be best utilized by him to develop a keen aspiration for God, backed up with intense dispassion for sense enjoyments. Now, what is the aim of life? It is happiness. This cherished aim is fulfilled by realizing God who is eternal happiness. We are after happiness, but that is ephemeral happiness, temporary, impermanent, transient. We want something that stays with us, which is called God realization. Because we will be ever full, no wanting. Today morning, at the time of Nam chanting, he prompted us to read a few lines of his, where he says, emptiness is fullness. emptying of all our
Thoughts.
thoughts. Thoughts means that is never be possible. Emptying of all our thoughts that relate to the limited and finite. Eliminating all thoughts which limit us to the finite. Emptiness is fullness. These are some words which we cannot explain, but little manana will give us some idea. Fullness, fullness, fullness. No inadequacy, insufficiency. What else can we say? When you close our eyes, we should feel that full. Nothing more need to be added. We don't feel for anything to make it full. So the cherished aim is fulfilled by realizing God who is eternal happiness. The pleasures they derived from the objects of the senses were not only transitory but also accompanied by pain and grief, a fact I came to know too well. These are the steps, how God came into my life. So I engaged myself in an all-round effort to divert the mind from the ephemeral objects to the eternal source of life, God. Tomorrow being this Mahasamadhi day, we should do something, What that something we have no idea. So suddenly he is now directing to his own words how God came to his life. The pleasures I derived from the objects of the senses were not only transitory but were also accompanied by pain and grief, a fact I came to know too well. So I engaged myself in an all-round effort to divert the mind from the ephemeral objects to the eternal source of life, God. God, who is absolute existence, consciousness and bliss, is within me. Withdrawing the mind from the unreal, I let it flow continuously towards Him through a steady remembrance brought about by a ceaseless chanting of His holy name. Constant remembrance purified and controlled by mind. Now the mysterious grace of Guru, which awakened me in the first instance to seek God, completed its task, removing the mask of ignorance which enveloped my soul for ages, with the result that a flood of illumination poured out, permeating my body, senses and all the worlds. In this splendor, my soul was lost, followed by the dawn of a cosmic consciousness and the knowledge of my still and all-pervading Atman of self. Yet another vision, more exalted, more perfect, more joyous, awaited my illumined self. And this is the fusion of the Atman with the universal manifestation. In other words, I realize that the Atman and the universe are one. This magnificent vision and experience, based on the realization of the Absolute Self, transformed me, the human being, into the veritable embodiment of God in all its aspects. Why that song? As my soul stepped from the animal to the human, first we will read. It's the toughest, no? We have to do a lot of manana to understand this. As my soul stepped from the animal into the human, it now stepped from the human into the divine, the Purushottama, the spiritual come physical evolution, the grandest finale, the supreme fulfillment of God's will, to reveal Himself in all His sublimity in this human being. Verily, God is the seeker, God is the sought. This is His inscrutable Leela. Truly, my soul and God, Jiva and Brahman are one, all victory to Him. Yet, the highest spiritual possibilities are not exhausted. The sweetest and the dearest relationship with Him, near and personal, which I maintained all along the initial struggle and aspiration, has at present become real, intimate, permanent. He is now my constant companion, as a careful mother, a beneficial master. In the face of man, beast and bird, nay of all creatures and things also, I behold Him, my beloved, again all victory to Him. When we hear this, what comes to us? No? Can anybody share? Or you want us to repeat it again? No? The human being.
Triune path.
Huh?
Triune path. Triune path.
Triune path.
Three-way path.
What are the three ways here?
Nama Seva. Yeah.
Huh?
Nama Seva.
It is there?
Yes, to the most possible deity.
Chanting is there, then
Dhyanam is there. 7 by 10 when we meet, we do that.
huh?
You see, Seva is me to you.
Huh?
Seva is me to you.
Please go through it again. Has it been mentioned like that?
Yes, Swami. Yes. Yes, Swami.
Where is it mentioned?
Swami need to
Go through Swami.
Please, I will again read. Then.
From individual to cosmic. From individual to cosmic.
The human being is gifted with reason, which can be best utilized by him to develop a keen aspiration for God, backed up with intense dispassion for sense enjoyments. Now, what is the aim of life? It is happiness. This cherished aim is fulfilled by realizing God, who is eternal happiness. The pleasures I derived from the objects of the senses were not only transitory, but were also accompanied by pain and grief. A fact I came to know too well. So I engaged myself in an all-round effort to divert the mind from the ephemeral objects to the eternal source of life, God. God, who is absolute existence, consciousness and bliss, is within me. Withdrawing the mind from the real, that is, external things of life, I let it flow continuously towards Him through a steady remembrance brought about by a ceaseless chanting of His holy name. Constant remembrance purified and controlled my mind. So first he is now clear that he wants that happiness which stays. Then he was able to understand that previously his senses were taking him to sense objects which are all transitory. And it also accompanied pain and grief. So he made an intense effort to divert the mind from the objects to the eternal source of life, God. Please, go through it. My source. And he was able to get the clarity about God. Sat, Chit, Anand. Absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. Not the relative existence. That which is there in the existence. That is called Sat. Consciousness, awareness. And when the me and mine is not there, what remains is Anand, objectless happiness. So he got the clarity. And then, withdrawing the mind from the unreal, I let it flow continuously towards him. So this he first understood. We are trying to understand his words. So he understood the ephemeral and the eternal, the impermanent and the permanent, the transient and the intransient, the one which is real and the unreal. Vairagya he did not say, but this is how, not the big, a simple word, he is bringing in an understandable way, not too complicated words. So this constant manana, everything is all right, but its limitation is also understood. It is not going to give me eternal happiness. So this manana, this reflection has been going on. And then, to get ourselves grounded, chanting of God's name with the right perspective. Because steady remembrance, he was very clear. In our case, we are chanting for chanting's sake, to put it bluntly. But chanting is for remembrance. That from the very start, he was very clear. I am chanting the name of one who is enabling me to chant the name. That is how the remembrance comes. I am chanting the name of one who is enabling me to remember him. So remembrance through chanting. And constant remembrance purified and controlled my mind. Constant remembrance that he is behind everything. Even behind his very word and thought. And then, when this much was done, Guru, mysterious grace of Guru, which awakened me in the first instant to see God, completed its task. First itself the Guru has awakened him, but it completed its task by removing the mask of ignorance which enveloped my soul for ages. That I am the doer, that is the ignorance. I am independent, I am absolute. The sense of individuality is unknowingly arrogating the sense of doership, enjoyership, ownership. So by removing the mask of ignorance which enveloped my soul for ages, with the result that a flood of illumination poured out. Permeating my body, senses and all the worlds. It washed away all the impurities. In this splendor my soul was lost, sense of individuality was lost, followed by the dawn of a cosmic consciousness. The individual soul identifying with the cosmic soul, all these things are academic to us now. Because we may not be able to understand this. only when he lifts us and makes us one with that. But some clue we get from his teachings. That in one of his writings he has said the individual is the universal. So we take the individual into the laboratory to know the universal. This inquiry, this manana will enable us to know that the one in the universal is the one in the universe, individual. For example, I am permeating from my head to toe, but I cannot be localized. I am here, everywhere I am here, but I cannot localize that I am there. Give some idea. And when we start trying to know about this factor, trying to localize him, who is this? Who is behind this speaking now? Who is behind the eyes now? Who is behind the ears now? Who is behind the movement of the hands now? You will find the sense of individuality which had started as a seeker slowly fades. Each one has to try.
Swamiji, mysterious grace of Guru. Mysterious grace of Guru.
Guru within. Who also comes out in the outer form. Because he did not go to any guru. He did not join any organization. He did not undergo anything what you call traditional. So he has always mentioned that he was relying on the guru within. Why this fluctuation?
I think something is wrong with the mic. That's why.
Don't disturb. Because it is a serious topic.
Yes,
When you get up, everybody will know.
sorry.
If one word of this article goes within, we are game. So absolute concentration is necessary. Because manana, only through manana this can be understood. So flood of illumination poured out, permeating my body, senses and all organs. It is an experience we cannot now bring it into the words or explain. In this splendor, my soul was lost, wiped out. Followed by the dawn of a cosmic consciousness and the knowledge of my still and all-pervading Atman or self. Some clue about that experience, the fullness. Fullness is explained by stillness, We don't try to understand it literally. What is this stillness?
To feel the self.
Where there are no thoughts. And then when we come back, when the thought comes back, the thought becomes aware of the base from which it has come. The spiritual discipline should enable us, in our case chanting, verbal or mental, vocal or mental. It should lead us to the stillness. Utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that you know and realize God. The conscious knowledge of my stillness outwardly up. Yet another vision, more exalted, more perfect, more joyous, awaited my illumined self. And this is the fusion of the Atman with the universal manifestation. In other words, I realize that the Atman and the universe are one. Again, this is an experiential revelation. But to some extent, our intellect can grasp that sort.
transformation நடந்த பிறகு தான் அவருக்கு அந்த ரிலேஷன் வருது. இந்த டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர்மேஷன் நடந்த பிறகு தான் ரிலேஷன் வருது இல்லையா அவருக்கு? From individual to cosmic.
Because we are standing from the individual standpoint. Yeah. Our knowing, our expressing, everything is from the individual standpoint. So it cannot be explained. It is purely an experiential revelation. To some extent, the intellect can guide, bringing some examples. The room space realizes it is part and parcel of the outer space. Only this much we can. But only when we experience this, we will be able to really understand. But to enable us to understand this room space is a part and parcel of the outside space. It is not an individuality, centenary hall, but at the same time, it was not there. When it is demolished, it is not going to be there, but the space remains as such. So that is, the individual is the universal. So yet another vision, more exalted, more perfect, more joyous awaited, and this is the fusion of the Atman with the universal manifestation. In other words, I realize that the Atman and the universe are one. That means even the room space does not feel it is separate from the outer space. This much the intellect can guide. The individual consciousness exists in the universal consciousness. In other words, in the universal consciousness, the individual consciousness does not assert its existence. Because these are all wonderful words for reflection. Wonderful. This magnificent vision and experience, based on the realization of the Absolute Self, transformed me, the individual being, human being, into a veritable embodiment of God in all his aspects. From the limited to the... As my soul stepped from the animal into the human, it now stepped from the human into the divine, the Purushottama, the spiritual cum physical evolution, the grandest finale, the supreme fulfillment of God's will, to reveal himself in all his sublimity in this human being. Verily, God is the seeker, God is the sought. Morning we chanted the Guru Sthiti, Paraspara. Thus the individual and the universal fusion takes place. Pahatechavedi. The mother is addressed as mother. When we hear, she hears. We know, and then there is a fusion between us. These are all expressions. But only through manana we can go near the experience. As my soul stepped from the animal into the human, it now stepped from the human into the divine, the Purushottama, a spiritual from physical evolution, the grandest finale, the supreme fulfillment of God's will to reveal Himself in all His sublimity in His human being. God is the seeker, God is the sought. This is His inscrutable Leela. Truly my soul and God, Jiva and Brahman, are one. All victory to Him. Yet, the highest spiritual possibilities are not exhausted. The sweetest and the dearest relationship with Him. So even after becoming one with Him, we function as two. The sweetest and dearest relationship with Him, near and personal, which I maintained all along the initial stages, struggle and aspiration, has at present become real, intimate, permanent. So right from the beginning, Papa has been trying to develop this. Ram and He. No? Ram stands for not a person, certain and mysterious power, and at the same time, a sweetest relationship with Him. Otherwise, sweetness will not be there, there's only one. So, right from the beginning, He was blessed with this, the seeker. It's not seeker and sought, sorry. It is not seeker and sought. The one, how are we to explain? We get some clarity when he wrote about the dialogue between Lord Rama and Anjaneya. That is something that gives us some idea, because this has come from his own experience. When Anjaneya was asked by Lord Rama, "Who are you?" Lord Anjaneya replies, "As body, I am your servant. As an individual, I am part of you. As spirit, I am one with you." Those two, as body, because we are like body people, no? Till 25th July 1963, the body was there. This was written when the body was alive. After that, nobody can write. So then, that means the body was there. So there is a relationship, though one, as body, servant, as an individual, body, mind, intellect, equipment, part of you. Consciousness should be there, life force should be there. As spirit, one with you. So yet, the highest spiritual possibilities are not exhausted. The sweetest and the dearest relationship with Him, near and personal, which I maintained all along the initial struggle and aspiration, has at present become real, intimate, permanent. So previously we take it was coming and going. Now it has become permanent. He is now my constant companion, as a careful mother and a beneficent master. In the face of man, beast, or bird, nay of all creatures, I behold him, my beloved. Again, all victory to him. Now we will try to observe, assimilate something of it. So what does this, why did he write this? How God came into my life. As an aspirant, as a sadhaka, as a devotee, as a spiritual children of beloved Papa, how do we get benefited by this? We have to do a lot of manner.
Keen aspiration of intense discussion of values.
Aspiration is passion that helped him to become. He was able to maintain God is within us. He is in the form of Satchit Anand, consciousness, and he was able to see also the thought, giving a sense of individuality, is subservient to that power.
He alone exists.
Hmm?
God alone exists.
God. At the same time, everywhere he is, I am also a part of it. Microcosm is the macrocosm. Individual is the universal. These are all his, inspiring words. Previously, when we were reading, we may not be able to understand it. Very deep, very sublime. But by making us to do various types of sadhana, he is slowly revealing to us what he means by every word that he has uttered. And that is why he is prompting us to bring it a day before his Samadhi day. So that this is the Papa which we are mentioning as Papa. No? When we do the manana intensely on these words, and when we look at his charming figure, we will not stop with that in the physical frame. A little more advanced, We won't say we will be able to capture the whole thing. A little more from the physical, which is revealed by that face, The splendor that stays with him. We still remember the words of Parapuja Gaudamanji Maharaj, who is the now president of Ramakrishna Mission. He was in Chennai at the time of our Padappai, Anandashram Satsang Samiti's establishment was inaugurated. We requested him, he was also one among the Mahants who came. So we were all there. At that time Maharaj said, he had an opportunity to see Papa during his college days. Papa came to his college. But what comes to my mind is that radiant face, apple, apple-like. We were charmed by that. We did not understand what he said. Had we understood, we don't know what would have taken a different route. This is what he said. But the first, how it is revealed through his physical form. We also get that, but we stop with that face. But this particular article, when we try to go deeper and deeper into it, it makes us to go a little inward. The reason behind the splendor coming out of the face. Every day when we go to the bhajan hall and when we look at that, he reminds us that this is what you have reached. Oh. Not merely going down. This fullness. And today he chose to make us go through this intensity. We were working on something till 320 years, 325. No? Suddenly he makes us to direct to this particular and he brings it out. Then as we were walking towards this hall, then this thought came, tomorrow is Papa's Samadhi day. It should not go just like another day. Along with whatever we have been doing, whatever we are enjoying, whatever we are laughing, whatever we are carrying in our head, one more dimension should be there. Even in a subtle form it is there, it is worth calling tomorrow Samadhi day. One dimension. Now the mysterious grace of Guru, which awakened me in the first instant to see God, completed its task by removing the mask of ignorance which enveloped my soul for ages. The me and mine. Handing over lock, stock and barrel. To him. Not even a trace of it. In quest of God, at the feet of God, in the vision of God, when we go through that, nothing to fall back upon excepting Him. Amanashikam. But that radiance, radiance. So completed my task by removing the mask of ignorance which enveloped my soul for ages, with the result that a flood of illumination poured out, permeating my body, senses and all the world. In this splendor, my soul was lost, followed by the dawn of a cosmic consciousness and the knowledge of my still and all-pervading Atman or Self. Puja Swamiji used to share, so when Papa is on tour, when the body was getting aged, it has limitation. So out of love and reverence for the body, along with Puja Mataji, Puja Swamiji also will say, Papa, you are tired, today somebody will come and ask, and you please come, you don't say yes. Yes, Ramdas will not say yes until someone calls. So we took it in a lighter way, but when you do the manana, he cannot do that, because there is nothing to call him as his. God is calling him, God is calling another to take it, so he knows. If directly it's told, it might wound, because they are doing it with their love and concern, he knows that. So what a beautiful way of telling, yes, Ramdas will not say yes until someone calls. We have to go a little more deeper into all this. When Puja Swamiji was explaining to us how wonderful unperturbed he was. When Swamiji approached him on one day from Brahmana building to Badnawar, Papa was coming out in his usual face, with his usual face and the stick. Yes, Sachidanand, there is a problem, Papa. What is the problem? Tomorrow we have to buy the ration. We need 100 rupees. What is your cash balance? 2 rupees. 2 rupees, very good. And stood there. Immediately somebody rushed up. From the road there was nothing. From Panjavadi there was nothing there. You can see the road. Youngster was rushing towards him. He climbed up the steps, reached that pathway, between Panjavadi and where Papa was standing, frustrated. Papa had been trying to see you, but every time when I pass through, either you are not here or I am busy. Today, though I was going, I really saw you. Now I should go. Okay, have you come go with it? No, Papa, I don't have time. I have to go immediately. He again prostrated, placed a cover, went. So, Puja Swamiji took that cover, it had 100 rupees. Same unruffled. Oh, 100 rupees is nothing like that. That means that individualism, that not even in the smallest measure, it was there. It was totally established. So the individual soul has merged into, how do we know? These are all the symptoms he places. Until we realize that we will not know. But to get us a glimpse of it, God brings such Mahatmas in our midst. And He makes us to ponder deeply on each and every incident to show how this transcendence has come. Not from our individual level we should evaluate. And then, in this splendor my soul was lost, followed by the dawn of pure cosmic consciousness and the knowledge of my still and all-pervading Atman or self. Still, So here the stillness, we can interpret it as fullness. No ripples. Yet another vision, more exalted, more perfect and more joyous awaited my illumined self. This is the fusion of the Atman with the universal manifestation. In other words, I realized that the Atman and the universe are one. The room space, realizing that it is part and parcel of the outer space. This magnificent vision and experience, based on the realization of the absolute self, transformed me, the individual being, human being, into the veritable embodiment of God in all His aspects. Not only after coming to Ashram, you remember that incident in Kasaragod Ashram. Somebody came and asked one by one. Everything was given joyously, including the cowpea. He was about to untie it, then the other party said, no, let it be there. It was a test. Even a vestige of sense of possession is there. Unimaginable. As my soul stepped from the animal to the human, it now stepped from the human into the divine, the Purushottama, the spiritual come physical evolution, the grandest finale, the supreme fulfillment of God's will to reveal Himself in all His sublimity in this human being. God's will. Verily, God is the seeker, God is the sought. This is His inscrutable Leela. Truly, my soul and God, Jiva and Brahman, are one. Yet, the highest spiritual possibilities are not exhausted. The sweetest and the dearest relationship with Him, near and personal. When we go through the quest of God, that was the period in 1922 end, that is December. 23 complete, you can see. So in 23, 24, he has written, no, you remember? The second chapter, you remember? Renunciation. The dialogue has started, no? You remember? The dialogue has started. What was the dialogue? Cream of the dialogue? Remove the me. So that means the dialogue has started, not with an outer entity. That's what he said, which I maintained all along the initial struggle and aspiration, the sweetest and dearest relationship with Him, near and personal, which I maintained all along the initial struggle and aspiration, has at present become real, intimate, permanent. When everything has come from you, how can we say it is me and mine? This is what your life seems. So one night, while engaged in drinking the sweetness of his name, Ramdas was made to think in the following strain. O Rama, dialogue. When thy slave finds thee at once so powerful and so loving, and that he who trusts thee can be sure of true peace and happiness, why should he not throw himself entirely on thy mercy, which can be only possible by giving up everything he called mine? Thou art all in all to thy slave. Thou art the sole protector in the world. Men are deluded when they declare, I do this, I do that, this is mine, that is mine. All around is thine. All things are done by thee alone. Thy slave's one prayer to thee is to take him under thy complete guidance and remove his idols. Just imagine, before, according to what he has written, before he left, before 27th December 1922, he has started this dialogue. Yet, the highest spiritual possibilities are not exhausted. The sweetest and the dearest relationship with Him, near and personal, which I maintained all along the initial struggle and aspiration, has at present become real, intimate, permanent. He is now my constant companion. In the introduction to the American edition of In Quest of God, the preface was written by a professor, Lancy. And he says what attracted him was this relationship. It's something mystic relationship. Suddenly he will say God's will be done. 2-3 times they heard. Then somebody asked, what is the context of God? Every now and then you are telling him, this will be done. I told him, no, this is a realistic relation. Not to interrupt. This is not good manners. But he says, who are sitting before you? Did you tell them that my will prevails? God's will prevails. No. See, he says, this is something unique. After realizing oneness to develop this mystic relationship, and he now says, it has become, that is why it has become real, intimate, permanent. He is now my constant companion, as a careful mother and a beneficial master. In the face of all creations, I beholding my beloved, again all victory to him. So he wants us to plumb deep into it, of what his life stands for. No? The individual life, there is no individual life for him, but to us he is still an individual. No? Whatever said and done, to us he is still an individual, a person. Now we are trying to understand something more than the individual or the person in him. Through not our interpretation, but his own revelation. So let these thoughts weigh in our mind. Everybody can try to go deep into it in their own way. Even if you don't remember all these words, one word you can remember, how God came into my life. And the various dimensions now in the past 1 hour he brought it out. One dimension is the key. Room space, outer space, individual is a universal, microcosm is a macrocosm. Ephemeral, eternal. And where am I now? Each one of us. Can we move anything 1 inch forward? And then we pray to him. You made us to hear, you made us to think, you made us to do reflection. Let it not just go like that. Please push me. Though I am still not mature. I am not receptive to your, I cannot understand fully what you mean. Still, please give me a push, physical push. You are calling and I am not coming. But if you push wrongly, I may be able to do a little. It's not of heartfelt prayer. Let it well up in our heart. More about it tomorrow. Divine life. what does the divine left to? What do you all feel?
We feel elated.
We feel elated. We feel elated.
That is not what you wanted to know.
Elated by constant remembrance.
Elated in constant remembrance.
Anybody?
Swami, Swamiji, Papa, constant dialogue God to the Quran to the riches of that. அந்த மாதிரி நம்மளுக்கு ஹலோ சுவாமிஜி கான்ஸ்டன்ட் டயலாக் வச்சுருக்க நம்மளுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி அப்பா கிரேஸ் வரணும்னு ப்ரே பண்ணிக்கிறோம் சுவாமி. நம்ம
Constant dialogue. Now then. Anything else?
சுவாமிஜி
ஆஸ்பிரேஷன் வந்து சென்டர் ஆகும்.
Aspiration. Keen.
அது இன்னும் என்ன ஸ்ட்ராங் இல்லையோ தோணுது.
சரி, என்ன?
Fullness. Single thought, it is very difficult.
Then, anyway, those who have divine life, part 2, may kindly open, go to this article, but really as many times as possible, close the book, try to reflect one part at least, and that will be our tomorrow's fittest homage to Papa's holy feet. He will be happy not by our offering anything, flowers or this, but he will be happy when he knows that his spiritual children are moving towards what he attained, or there is a keen aspiration or intent desire in them to move towards what he has reached. This is very essential. May he bless us all. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Pranam.